I am in Oxford, North Carolina. They have this mural here. It's right downtown. This is the historical museum. Look at these pictures. Sock monkey. Look at that, RC Cola. It's like pop culture here. And look at this cool TV. That looks like it should be on the Batman set. Yeah, this is Granville County. This is tobacco country. And look at that. Dollhouse. Soft drink cooler. Who was Lord Granville? He was John Carteret, 2nd Earl of Granville, grandson of George Carteret, one of the 8 Lord Proprietors of the Carolinas. He inherited a territory known as Granville County, which included all territory within the current boundaries of what is now Warren, Franklin, Vance, Person, and Granville counties. Okay, Person County was part of that. According to Lord McElroy, he was the most brilliant English prose writer since John Milton. No public man of that age had greater courage, greater ambition, greater activity, greater talent for debate and declamation. No public man had such a profound, extensive learning, greater courage, ambition. He was familiar with ancient writers. His knowledge of modern language was prodigious. The Privy Council, when he was present, needed no interpreter. He spoke French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, German, and even Swedish. Earl Granville's talents were of the first order. His knowledge of foreign affairs was superior to any leading statesman. The flag of Granville County, white diamonds and red background, was taken from Lord Granville's coat of arms. And here's the boundary in present-day North Carolina. And the original grant, holy mackerel, the whole top half of the state. 25,000 square miles. Wow. First National Bank of Granville. What a nice picture. And then here we have some Indian artifacts, arrowheads, stones, spearheads, points. Look at this lady with a bonnet. And this is a coal stove right here. Preservation. The Harris exhibit hall's entry room and gift shop are example of the buildings materials of Granville County's earlier homes. So this is the front of it right here. Look at all these different styles here on this poster. Jack Parrott's filling station. Look at that old-timey tricycle. And Roy Rogers comics. The king of cowboys, that's for sure. Look, there's the Lone Ranger. There's a Slinky. A boat building kit. Jack's. There's a Monopoly set. These are old-timey oldie goldies here. Deck playing cards. And look at this baby stroller here. Doll carriage, a wicker doll carriage. Look at this little gal here with, she's hanging tobacco. Women in a tobacco field. Look at the little baby. There's a plant bed. You do that in the late winter. Granville wilt was a tobacco bacterial disease. So what they're doing here is preparing a tobacco for market, the auction. So they would take the tobacco, and the moisture had to be correct, so it wasn't crumbly, breaking, and they'd make bundles with the top part wrapped. You see how this wrapped with another tobacco leaf? And they would put it on those pallets, those wooden, see right there, and sit on the warehouse floor. So it would have a tag of the farmer. And then the U.S. government graders will come along and examine it and give it a grade. That's so that the auctioneers would know what to bid on it.
Right here in Oxford.
Kurt Tillotson Jr., Mr. T. He was born in Oxford and taught at Oxford High School, or Granville High School, I think it's called now. And he was a railroad buff and photographers. And so he went around and took pictures of railroads, rolling stock, and he would put them in the Rail Classics magazine. Would be featured in there. This might be part of his collection. Look at these paintings. This is really nice. So this was the depot, part of the depot. Dickerson and Oxford line. I didn't even know there was such a line. All right, we got more over here. Southern Railroad Company. Let's go this way. More model railroad cars. Southern Railroad lines. Look at these stamps. This is a Southern Railroad telegraph. All right, here's the county right here. Atlantic and Danville Railroad, Blue Wing, Grassy Creek Lumber Spur, and here's the Oxford and Clarksville Railroad. Coming in from Clarksville, Virginia to Oxford, down to Stem, and then to Butner. Butner was where the Army base was in World War II. So this is Henderson County right here. So this line here goes into Henderson. There's the Dickerson on the Oxford branch, okay? I didn't realize they had so many railroads here. Clarksville and Oxford Railroad. Durham and Northern Railroad running between Henderson and Durham. Creedmoor, Tar River. Look at these guys here. Seaboard Airline took over the railroad. There's some more of those rail classics. And this is some of Mr. T's photos. That guy was pretty amazing. This is probably part of his collection, I'm sure. Look at all this railroad paraphernalia they have. Southern Railway, America's Railway Express. Look at these trains books. More cars here. Look at these, looks like shot glasses. Pot-bellied stove, that had to be in one of the, maybe a caboose. And what is this? Looks like a trash can. And this is one of the seats on the train for one of the engineers or workmen. Some of the rail lights. Look at the conductor's hat. Wow, this is really interesting. Let's see what this says right here. Okay, this was the Durham line. Stickman. More paraphernalia. So look at the doors here. Yeah, this right here was a freezer locker. Colonial frozen food lockers of Oxford. One night they would butcher the hogs or cows. They would bring the meat in and put them in these freezer lockers to preserve it. Oh, look at these paintings here. This is a Gina Browning. That is really nice. Nice colors. And this looks like a railroad station. This is the same lady, Gina Browning. Man, she does some really nice wildlife paintings and livestock. Here's some of the rural churches. Oak Hill. Those two mules there. Some of the old stores here, and that looks like a church or a schoolhouse. They have some kind of event here. This weekend, I think. There's a mill. Look at that. Now this is the First Baptist Church, or Oxford Baptist Church. Look at the lights. It's still got the lights on from, I don't know, is this holiday lights or what? Here's the post office. Here's the Baptist Church. Quite an impressive facade there. Here's the public library. Okay, here it is. It was an amphibious assault ship designed to carry men and supplies into the beaches of the Pacific. Here's a model of the ship. This was the first person killed in World War II from Granville County, Joe Julian Satterwhite. These are World War II memorabilia. Shower shoes. There's a Purple Heart. Here's another mural. This is like sort of on the back street downtown.